Colorado, 4 stands alone. 11 o'clock, Weekend Report.
Good evening. Thanks for watching. Here is the news.
Well, she posted a lot online, and it seems what seems to be her website, there is some material suggesting that she was upset with YouTube's new policies.
There's nothing normal about a criminal like this.
He's remained a mystery since the day police say he shot and killed classmate Asia McGowan at Henry Ford Community College and turned the gun on himself.
When police say Rodger killed 3 men inside his own apartment, all stabbed repeatedly.
A transcript of the audio reveals her hesitation. "Babe, I'm not doing this. I can't. If I kill you, what's going to happen to my life?"
Up in that mindset to possibly commit some horrific act.
Hey, Paul! Ah!
When you think of a sensationalized version of a murderer, this scenario is probably not too far away from what you'd imagine. Cold-hearted, premeditated, and quite frightening. The expectation is always that a killer is also a monster. Despite the horrific and brutal nature of the topic, murder has become a commonly discussed theme in mainstream media. The television was invented all the way back in 1927, and the first known broadcast of a killing was that of John F. Kennedy in 1963. However, the wave of mainstream television attention for high-profile murders did not begin until 1975 with the arrest of Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy confessed to 30 homicides, and due to the sinister nature of his actions, people couldn't look away from his trial in 1976. The news would keep everyone up to date, and countless films, TV series, and books have been made about the man. More than all of this though, there was so much to be learnt from his case. For example, studying his mind would have had massive implications for extremities and outliers in personality pathology. Ted Bundy is a very unique case, but that hasn't stopped the news reporting on murder after murder to this day. It's a common occurrence, and there's always another Ted Bundy, Harold Shipman, or Jeffrey Dahmer around the corner to report on. However, in the 21st century there is an astronomical amount of information to be found on people's personalities. Through sites like Twitter, Facebook, and on the odd occasion YouTube, killers will upload information on their lives, their interests, and who they are as a person. So today we'll be taking a look at the YouTube channels of 5 known killers. We'll unravel exactly what unique information their content gave in understanding their own ideas, personality, and motives to discover what drives someone to become a killer on YouTube.
Now, a very serious subject now. As you have probably heard, it is truly devastating. My prayers go out to the families of the missing and the dead. So I pray for their recovery. I saw the devastation videos. It is massive devastation. It's the worst. So that's it for me, and I'll see you next time on Mr. Anime Reviews.
The first YouTuber turned murderer I'll be discussing today is Trey Sezler, better known as Mr. Anime. He began uploading to the Lens Cap Productions YouTube channel in 2006, and Mr. Anime created a variety of content. Special effect videos, SNES reviews, and a bunch of miscellaneous content too. But what he was most well known for was his anime reviews. During his time on YouTube, he uploaded 92 anime reviews, including reviews on Devil May Cry, Death Note, and Yu-Gi-Oh! In fact, Mr. Anime is credited as one of the founders of the anime review community, and kickstarting its popularity on YouTube. Many of the anime reviewing community today will have grown up enjoying his content.
If it wasn't for him, I would not be where I am now. I probably wouldn't even be on YouTube doing anime reviews.
His impact on the anime community was huge, but he had a much darker impact on his real life community where he lived. In March 2012, Trey murdered several members of his own family. He shot and killed his mother, father, and brother, as well as all of his family pets. Trey then went to his school with the intent of killing 70 people to become the most prolific mass murderer in US history. Fortunately, he never carried out the attack on his school, and was arrested for the murder of his family. He was sentenced to life in prison and labelled the killer of YouTube. Trey revealed to the police that he only killed his family to spare them from the horror of knowing what he had done once he had shot up the school. After the murders, he wrote on the walls of his home, "Why did I do this? I love my mum, dad, and brother. God forgive me, because I can't forgive myself." But what kind of person would want to do any of this in the first place? Well, his channel does give insight into who Trey was as a person. Mr. Anime was known for being an honest person when reviewing anime. He would attempt to give every anime show a fair try, but he wouldn't sugarcoat criticism if he felt it was the truth. This rational and straightforward persona probably contributed to his moderate notoriety in the anime community. but it's clear to see his mental state deteriorate over time. His reviews became more and more bizarre, and rumours began to pop up that he was killing animals in his spare time. This rumour was exacerbated when he uploaded the video Mr. Anime is Injured. In this video he explains that he won't be uploading for a while until his face heals. He also states he can't disclose what happened to his face for legal reasons. This video is widely regarded as where Mr. Anime's mental deterioration began, or at least came to light on YouTube. From here he started making a couple of gun test videos, which considering what happened feels slightly off-putting to watch now. In his 9mm gun video it's clear to see that he's lost a significant amount of weight to the point that he looks unwell. This may have been due to his ongoing medical issues with pneumothorax, which is when air leaks into the space between your lungs and chest wall. He also speaks in a slurred manner and seems a little bit drunk. What is most unsettling about this video is the fact that the gun he discusses, the Hi.995 carbine, is the exact same gun used in the infamous Columbine shootings. After his arrest, Trey revealed he studied and analysed mass shooters, and due to the choice of weapon, these gun test videos were definitely part of that studying. Other strange videos uploaded at this time include Super Ferret and Should North Korea Have Nukes. However, his most retrospectively disturbing video was Mr. Anime is Planning Something. This was his third to last video, and considering what happened, it's easy to read between the lines and deduce what Mr. Anime was planning. His final video talks about how Trey got a new job. While you'd hope this would be a positive aspect to create a turning point for Mr. Anime, this clearly didn't happen. More so, however, this video implies that Mr. Anime did not have a great working situation prior, and any adults watching this will know that long periods of unemployment or poor working environments can negatively affect a person's self-worth. This along with the potential animal killings and alcoholism, as well as medical issues and unsettling gun reviews, all paint a picture that Trey Sessler may have had some serious mental issues, and the signs of a killer were there all along.
That's why we need to live every moment of our day as though the words we say matter and will have an effect on someone. But some of you are readily able to say, go die, you suck, you know, and you say all these horrible, horrible, mean things. You're not helping other people.
Mr. Anime may be known as the killer on YouTube, but the first YouTuber to kill another YouTuber was Anthony Powell, aka Tony48219. Anthony was a Christian YouTuber who gained a small following discussing other Christian YouTubers such as Venom Fang X, and actively tried to sabotage atheist YouTubers such as The Amazing Atheist. However, what he is most well known for now was his views on black women. In April 2009, Anthony shot and killed YouTuber Asia McGowan in front of her college classmates before turning the gun on himself. Both of these actions were foreshadowed by Anthony on his channel. He'd expressed a keenness to commit suicide and discussed misogynistic ideologies on his channel. He believed women should be subservient to men, and that black women were inherently stupid when it came to picking a partner, among other racist and sexist opinions. This all led to him having an extremely toxic comment section and being constantly trolled by individuals who would manipulate him while pretending to be Christian just for a laugh.
I have had the people or the person that was manipulating him contact me and tell me, yep, I was kind of tricking people, I'm not really a Christian.
Anthony was a very emotional individual, and anyone who disagreed with him became his enemy, even other Christians. His negative and discriminatory opinions often got him banned from the site, and they were also what caught the attention of other YouTubers. Tony48219 left countless hateful comments on other YouTubers' videos, including on Asia McGowan's. His comments, as well as other people's comments presumably, led to Asia making a video on the issue. This essentially boils down to her disregarding the individuals being discriminatory towards her, and stating that it raises her profile as someone who is big enough to have their own haters. This was a relatively mature response in comparison to how Anthony dealt with his comment section. However, it probably aggravated Anthony due to its dismissive nature. Through everything that I have watched of Tony48219, there was nothing to suggest that at any point this man had any positive qualities, but suicidal urges are a clear indicator of some form of mental issue. It's hard to know exactly what sent Anthony over the edge, as his channel has been deleted and only re-uploads remain. But what we can conclude from the story of Tony48219 is that how YouTube view creator-on-creator harassment these days probably needs to be re-evaluated, because preventing occurrences like this is probably more important.
This is the pistol model used in the stunt. It's a mighty 50 caliber Desert Eagle. Just look at the damage 2 bullets did to this huge dictionary in our demonstration. They came right out the other side.
The Desert Eagle 50 caliber is one of the most powerful handguns in the world. It's basically a rifle for one-handed shooting.
Now we'll fast forward all the way to 2017 to discuss probably the most tragic and ridiculous death in this video. Pedro Ruiz and his girlfriend Mona Lisa Perez made videos for the channel La Mona Lisa. Their content was typically vlogs or pranks, and they described their own channel as the real life of a young couple who happened to be teen parents. Their usual prank videos were normally quite timid. They'd put chili powder in each other's sandwiches or replace icing sugar with baby powder. However, in mid-2017, La Mona Lisa filmed their final prank. Pedro convinced Mona Lisa to shoot a prank video where she shoots a gun at him through a book. They had tested this previously and the bullet had not gone through the book, but during filming the bullet went through the book and killed Pedro. During this time, Mona Lisa was pregnant with their second child and was the one to phone the police. Due to the sheer stupidity involved, as well as mitigating circumstances of there being clear evidence that she both did not come up with the idea and didn't really want to do it, her sentence was quite light. Mona Lisa was charged with second-degree manslaughter. She was sentenced to 3 months in prison, 3 months house arrest, 10 years of probation, and a lifetime ban on possession of a gun. This sentence was passed in December 2017, but by July 2018, Mona Lisa was back on YouTube, renaming her channel to Mona Lisa and Fam. This was with the video entitled Something to Say. As part of her plea, Mona Lisa agreed not to seek financial gain from the court case. Therefore, she couldn't actually talk about Pedro's death in this video, but she does tiptoe around the subject. What's most uneasy about this whole video is that it has a somewhat positive vibe to it. She discusses how she's grown and improved and feels ready to move on. Considering just how insane the killing was, this came across as disingenuous and almost a little bit creepy. It felt as if she had a complete lack of self-awareness. After this, she started uploading family vlogs to this channel, but then deserted it in early 2019 to focus on a podcast called People Being People. There's also a channel called La Mona Lisa with a bunch of re-uploads of the real La Mona Lisa channel. Going through these was pretty boring, and these videos are extremely uninspired, but they were also harmless, and it's clear to see these two were no different from your average low-effort teen vloggers. And I think based on the evidence, this unfortunate act was just the epitome of stupidity, and not something more sinister, but it's still very difficult to listen to a podcast, or look at an active Instagram account, and not have the thought, this woman shot and killed the father of her own child.
I bet he goes to the same college as me. Yet he gets to experience his college life with his beautiful blonde girlfriend, and I have to suffer this miserable loneliness. It's not fair. Life isn't.
Why do you think he's so angry?
I don't know.
I think it's because he doesn't have any friends.
Maybe.
Shit.
When trying to think of notorious murderers who have spawned as a result of the online age, one cannot ignore the depraved odyssey of Elliot Rodger, a man who documented his thoughts, feelings, and entire life leading up to an attempted retribution. Yes, of all the people on this list, Elliot's name is the only one that will almost certainly get this video demonetized. But why is this, and how could a person have spawned such a massive tidal wave of debate even years after his death? Well, for some background, in May of 2014, Elliot stabbed 3 of his roommates to death in his own apartment. He went on to shoot and kill 3 more individuals near the University of California, injuring 14 others before taking his own life. The exact details of his case, while interesting, are not really necessary to understand the overarching reasons for this unprovoked bloodshed. The vlogs that he posted to his YouTube channel, unlike those made by Mr. Anime, were deleted in 2018, but countless re-uploads, character studies, and investigative materials have been produced to ensure that the uniqueness of Elliot's case is never truly forgotten. Elliot's own personal manifesto, entitled My Twisted World, can even be found on the New York Times website with a quick Google search. In terms of YouTube coverage, the YouTuber with the most extensive catalog of Elliot content was Monkey Jones, with those videos being a key contributor to his success and struggles on YouTube. Something you'd understand if you've seen Session 2 of my Video Vigilante series. However, Mumkey was not the only brave idiot to make Elliot-oriented content. Just a Robot has an interesting video on him about Murphy's Law, and Scare Theater has multiple videos covering him as well. There are so many videos about him that source from online content he left behind, and nearly all of them single out one theme: Elliot Rodger's drastically warped view of the world. To strip it down as simply as possible, he was immensely misogynistic, and had literally no nuance in how he perceived the needs of women. A notorious narcissist by nature, Elliot was deeply bothered by the fact that women did not fight for his attention, and constantly attributed his lack of success in losing his virginity as being the fault of the twisted world in which he was born, rather than his pretty evident character flaws. Now, as with most people who apply a broad brush in generalizing their hatred for a large demographic of strangers, Elliot primarily succeeded in making himself sound idiotic and delusional. And the extent of these delusions are often not fully appreciated, as there were many epochs which brought Elliot further down his dark path. Just for one example, after reading a book entitled The Secret by Rhonda Byrne, Elliot became convinced that if he believed hard enough, anything was possible. An ideology typically described as the law of attraction. With this mindset, he thought that he could win the lottery just by believing hard enough, and then use that wealth to finally obtain a female, because that's all you need, money. Sounds like he's looking for a healthy relationship. So, he bought hundreds of dollars of lottery tickets and, well, unsurprisingly, he did not win, a result that apparently devastated him, despite being extremely predictable. By taking generally optimistic pathologies such as the law of attraction as seen here, and using it to participate in a lottery, the outcome of which is quite literally entirely out of his control, he sets himself up to fail with the true underlying goal of further justifying his own flawed worldview. This way, the absurd gamble is a win-win. I mean, he either wins the lottery and becomes a millionaire, or he feels justified in possessing his warped ideologies of the world's injustice toward him. While, in all fairness, Elliot was likely not conscious of this self-affirming cycle, his father, filmmaker Peter Rodger, can't really say the same. In an interview shortly after the day of retribution, he touted that he had no idea Elliot had been deteriorating mentally, and spent the whole interview trying to position himself as blameless. Now, of course, this is extremely contradictory to the manifesto, but ABC ran with Peter's narrative, and, well, 3 years later, when emails were leaked by a hacker named A Cruel Society, documenting a large amount of conversations between Elliot and his parents, it was made much more clear that the situation between him and his parents was not exactly healthy. These emails were originally passed on to Mumkey, and it significantly impacted certain aspects of Mumkey's perception of Elliot. For many of us who are aware of Elliot content on YouTube, Mumkey was the person who provided a lot of the lenses for analysis when looking at Elliot's case. His signature satire, juxtaposed with this very serious and tragic situation, was always interesting to watch, and he always made it clear that he disagreed with a number of Elliot's ideologies. But these emails that were leaked showed how Elliot may have been manipulated into hating his father, and how the lack of all-around parenting skills led to Elliot feeling unloved not only by women, but by his family too. In light of this information, Mumkey expressed his belief that Elliot was not given the necessary social training to approach others and communicate his horrendous ideas before they manifested into action. He instead chose to document his thoughts by his lonesome and to share them only with the vast empty void of the internet. There are people who did and still do relate to Elliot, and they've expressed this to Mumkey in the past, but most feel too scared to discuss it openly due to their fear of public backlash or judgment given the intense stigma against those who classify themselves as incels. I remember as a viewer, this realization saw Mumkey take a more empathetic stance toward these broken individuals. His words still echo in my mind to this day. When we are too afraid to discuss our feelings,
when we're too afraid to let our mental illnesses out, they take over. And this past year, I've been watching in disgust as society went in the complete opposite direction. And it's all thanks to the fear of incels. To imply in a blanket statement that all of these people are dangerous because they fall under the definition of an incel is completely fucking retarded. These are the people who already feel as though they don't belong in society, and now the media is advising society to be on the lookout for them because they're dangerous.
And when you sit back and see how the mainstream media has taken such an antagonistic approach toward incel culture, presenting them as people to be feared and despised, the question has to be asked, are we actively encouraging more attacks?
I don't know. I've been really busy this week, working with all these other concerns.
Nasima Agdam, known as Nasima Subs on social media, was an Iranian-American YouTuber who made a variety of content. She made parodies, music videos, exercise videos, vegan and animal rights related content, and much more. Her unique style made her relatively well known in Iran, and her online name translates to Green Nasim in Iranian. Nasim was a prominent vegan and animals rights activist. One example of her activism was protesting against the killings of pigs during US Marines training procedures. But in April 2018, Nasim entered YouTube headquarters and attempted to shoot and kill members of the staff. Luckily she failed, only injuring 3 people, but after this she turned the gun on herself and ended her own life. 3 days prior to this, Nasim went missing and her family contacted the police. One place they identified as a potential location she may have gone to was the YouTube headquarters. Due to this, police searched for her and found her sleeping in her car. After a short discussion about how she was leaving her home to start a new life, the police decided to let her go. This interaction occurred one night before the attack. One of the reasons her parents thought she would go to the YouTube headquarters was because of certain videos she'd uploaded. These videos would express her displeasure with how YouTube promotes certain content. In her video entitled How to Grow on YouTube, she explains that you should make stupid videos, and the stupider they are, the faster you'll grow. More importantly, she states to not talk about your own beliefs or you'll be discriminated against. In another video, she also discusses how she's been filtered on YouTube. Her workout videos were being age restricted for sexual content. Nasim compares this to other workout videos as well as the sexual nature of Nicki Minaj's performances to highlight the hypocrisy of her restriction. This resulted in her new videos making pennies and her old videos which got lots of views suddenly getting very little. This is an extremely unique case due to the main motive being frustration at YouTube itself and their treatment of the channel. This is no reason to attempt murdering employees, but I can guarantee that she isn't the only YouTuber that has felt frustration through algorithmic censorship, as Nasim put it. This was clear to see on Twitter when YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki commented on the shooting. Multiple users used this as an opportunity to vent their own frustration and echo the very ideology that led to Nasim's attack. I don't think any of these users will have held Nasim's ideologies at such an extreme level though. Nasim ran a website and used it as a hub for all her social media links. She also used it to further push her ideologies. Dictatorship was one topic Nasim would often talk about on the website. She believed dictatorship existed in all countries, but just with different tactics. Some of these tactics include manipulating science, abusing animals, promoting materialism, and turning people into programmed robots. I wonder if she viewed YouTube as a dictatorship. The website also contained quotes about injustice from people like Einstein and Martin Luther King. The most chilling of all of these though were that of Adolf Hitler, which read, "Make the lie big, make it simple, keep saying it, and eventually they will believe it." When you take into account her frustrations, her ideologies, and the fact that she was buying into Hitler's tactics on manipulation, Nasim's online presence conveys a clear picture of why Nasim Aghdam attempted to become a YouTuber turned killer. Hopefully through the 5 examples shown, I've been able to illustrate the importance of YouTube and the power of the internet in exploring the mind of a killer. There were many others I could have discussed, but I felt these 5 adequately demonstrate a variety of motives, values and issues that can create a YouTube killer. But merely demonstrating that valuable information is available about these people raises its own type of concerns. Could this information lead to preventative measures being implemented to prevent further deaths? And if so, is it practical and ethical to do so?
Do you ever worry about a big brother aspect to all this?
Me, myself? Yeah. No, I personally would want all the investigative advantages that I can get.
What about the YouTube channel of the individuals? Should they be removed to protect various individuals who are involved and reduce the chance of a minority of people glorifying their ideologies? Or should they remain as an archive for society to learn in an attempt to prevent history repeating itself? Is the information on these sites even valuable? People often present a mildly created version of their real selves or even play fictional characters when it comes to YouTube and social media. So is this information even valid or reliable? These are all extremely difficult questions to answer, but if you've got an opinion on any of them, I'd love to hear it in the comments. Gokanaru is notorious on YouTube due to his video vigilante series, which is one of my personal favourites on the site. He also has a plethora of other content which is worth watching, such as his No Stupid Questions series. So if you're not already following him, make sure to go and subscribe to his channel. Please let me know if you enjoyed this video, as I am considering making Being on YouTube a continuous series. These will be slightly longer than my usual videos and will attempt to tackle more difficult and unique topics. So if that sounds like your kind of thing, please subscribe and hit the bell, and I'll see you next time.